I'm kind of afraid that I might burn down my kitchen today, but at least all of you will be watching me while I do it. So today we're going to be making some muffins! Woo! Not just any muffins, actually. These are Calvin Coolidge muffins. So one fun fact about Calvin Coolidge, I'm going to tell you all a lot more fun facts about this guy, but one fun fact about him is that he loved cornmeal muffins. And so he and his wife, Grace Coolidge, they actually wanted the best muffins at the White House. So they sent away at the inn at Northampton, and they got a recipe because Calvin Coolidge was from Vermont, so he wanted, obviously, muffins from where he was from. So they tweaked the recipe a little bit, and this is the recipe I'm going to be making for you all today. The website that I got the recipe from that I'm going to be using today is actually called foodtimeline.org, and it is a really cool website. It has recipes from all throughout history, from a ton of different presidents, so definitely check it out. I'll put a link below. And the recipe itself is actually from a book called The President's Cookbook, and I really want to buy it. I was hoping to buy it before I actually made this video, but I'm going to order it tonight so that I can make many more recipes in the future for all of you guys. How do you all like my attire? This apron actually has a kind of funny story to it. I was looking all over the place online for a patriotic apron because obviously I had to be in style for my videos. So I asked my sister if she had an apron, and she's like, yeah, actually I have a pretty patriotic apron. So come to find out, it actually has snowflakes on it, so it's my patriotic snowflake apron, and it has a really cute pocket. And in the pocket, I carry my pocket Declaration of Independence and Constitution, of course. Never cook without your rights. Before we start cooking, I have a confession to make. I am an incredibly inexperienced, bad baker and cook. So feel free to critique me. You can tell me that all of my utensils are outdated, that my style sucks. I mean, whatever you want, you can tell me, lay it on me. This is totally a learning experience. So I just want to have some fun. I think that cooking recipes from people that I admire, such as Calvin Coolidge, is just the coolest thing ever. I mean, we are going to be eating cornmeal muffins that Calvin Coolidge used to eat all the time. So, hey man, you can't get much more fun than that. I have all of our ingredients all laid out here. So you're going to need milk, salt, cornmeal, baking powder, flour, and sugar, my very favorite. This is my very first time making this recipe. I did not do a trial run beforehand, so if I make any mistakes, we're just gonna run with it. All right, so let's start. First, we have to beat 2 eggs. Okay, so we're going to crack some eggs. There we go. And egg number 2. Oh, and I did wash my hands first, just so you know. I'm not cooking with dirty hands. All right, and then it says to add 1 scant cup of milk. So I guess scant means that it's almost a cup. So we'll go with that. All right, we have our 1 cup here. Ooh, I was supposed to beat the eggs first. I'm glad I'm still reading the directions. See, we're already almost off to a bad start. Okay, so we're gonna beat 2 eggs. I do like making scrambled eggs. It's actually one of my favorite things to make. I have yet to master the omelet though. I just can't seem to get the veggies inside of the omelet. Okay, well those look pretty beat. Okay, so we're going to add 1 scant cup of milk. Beautiful. Okay. Next, we are going to blend 2 cups of cornmeal. All right, so we got our cornmeal here. I'm not a very precise baker, so hopefully that's okay. Ooh, oh my. There we go. That seems good enough. So that's 2 cups of cornmeal right there. 1 cup of flour. I need one of those knives to top it off. There we go. Okay. So that's 1 cup of flour. And then we need 4 tablespoons of sugar. All right, so 4 tablespoons. Here we go. So we've got 1. 2. Can't be a perfectionist now. 3. 1 more. And 4. Okay. So we got 4 tablespoons of sugar, and then we need 2 tablespoons of baking powder. So we've got our baking powder. So 2 tablespoons. So we have 1 and 2. Okay. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So here's our 1/4 teaspoon. You know, I'm not like those like Rachel Ray programs and things like that where they have all of their ingredients pre-measured and all pretty and stuff in bowls. You're just seeing the raw footage of me in the kitchen. I mean, you can't get more real than this. Oh boy, I can't even open this salt thing. Clearly I don't eat salt very much. You can see that. Ah! Ouch. What in the world? Oh. I was opening the wrong end. This is really bad. All right. So we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So we'll mix up our little egg and milk mixture here. All right. We are going to blend together here all of these ingredients, these dry ingredients, and we're going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. And you cannot forget to preheat your oven to 450 degrees. So let me do that. I guess what we're going to do is we're going to mix in the egg milk mixture. Okay, let's see what happens. It's like magic. You know, I was watching these videos before I started baking for all of you today, and I was watching how to appropriately stir muffin ingredients, and apparently you have to be like really fast and, you know, don't mix them too much or else you'll ruin them. And so we'll see how this goes. I don't want to mess up my batter. I probably already have. You know, the weird thing about this recipe is that there is no butter or oil. So I really don't know what Calvin Coolidge was thinking, but I don't know about this. Oh boy. This is going to be really interesting. This is basically like dough. So we'll see how it comes out. It says to put the batter into well-greased muffin tins. So we're going to kind of grease these up a little bit. All right. That may have been too much, but it's okay. We are going to put this muffin batter in here. See, as I said, it's not very muffiny. It's kind of thick. And that means that the oven's ready. It's at 450. I apparently set off the fire alarm. What? And we're back. So the fire alarm did go off. I'm really not sure why. I think when someone was cooking in the oven recently, my sister, I'm gonna blame her. When she was cooking, I think she left some excess food in the oven, and so I think it was burning, and so it kind of smells a little bit like burning, but there wasn't much smoke or anything. So I opened the back door to try to get some airflow. So the fire alarm went off by itself. So we can resume with our batter in the muffin tins here. It's almost like Play-Doh. It's like you want to make shapes with it or something. I am all done putting the batter in the tins. The recipe said that it makes 2 dozen. Yeah, it said 2 dozen. And it said it'll make 2-inch muffins. So, I mean, I'm not really good with measurements, but so we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 muffins. All right, so I'm going to put the muffins in the oven and we'll see how these things turn out. It says to bake in hot 450 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, we're gonna set our timer. Usually while I wait for something to cook, I listen to Liberty Classroom. I like to clean up because I made quite a mess. I actually should put away my milk because it's going to go bad. Okay, but because all of you guys are here, I'm going to read some fun facts about Calvin Coolidge just to kind of pass the time. Calvin Coolidge grew up in Vermont. His real first name was John, which he dropped in college. He is the only president to be born on Independence Day. That is so sweet. Coolidge was at his family home when he learned that President Harding died. Coolidge's father, a notary public, administered the oath of office to Coolidge in the middle of the night by the light of a kerosene lamp. That is so neat. He became the 30th president of America in 1923. I decided to turn on the vent fan because there was some smoke coming up, so hopefully that'll make it so that the fire alarm does not go off again. I just set off the fire alarm for the 2nd time. I really don't know what's going on. I am trying everything to make it not go off. This is clearly an unsuccessful baking event, but at least you're here with me. I don't know what's going on. The muffins are creating quite a bit of smoke and are getting pretty burnt on top, so I don't know if this recipe is just messed up, if they're trying to create a fire in my house. I really don't know, but let's take them out and see what's going on. They smell pretty good. See, this is what they look like. And there's supposedly 12 minutes to go. They actually seem pretty done. I mean, they're pretty hard, so I think I'm just gonna take them out and we'll see how they taste. See, they're like really hard. So interesting. They smell really good, actually. So I might have just made something by accident that tastes okay. But I'm gonna wait for it to cool just a bit and then I'm gonna try it for the first time. This is really good. Wow. Oh my god. I'm really liking this. Oh my. It's like it makes you want more. Just to recap, I created so much smoke in my kitchen today that my fire alarm went off 2 times. I cooked the cornmeal muffins for only about 12 to 13 minutes, even though the recipe called for 25 to 30 minutes. But all in all, the muffins actually tasted amazing. I mean, I don't know how they're supposed to taste or if they came out how Calvin Coolidge likes them to taste. But you know what? It was a good accident. So I'm happy. But the thing that I'm sad about is that in the midst of all of the chaos and smoke, I could not tell all of you about my Calvin Coolidge facts. So do you want to hear some? Because I compiled an entire list. Coolidge was for small government. Yes. He was for tax cuts. Yes, yes. Lower government spending and less aid to struggling farmers. He signed the Indian Citizenship Act, which gave full U.S. citizen rights to all Native Americans. That is really cool. Calvin Coolidge was a man of few words. He even refused to use the telephone at the White House, and because of this, he was given the nickname of Silent Kale, which we all know and use all the time. He also had the nickname Red for his red hair. And you know what's super funny? A fun fact about myself is that some people actually call me Red because of my red hair, so I can relate to Calvin on that one. Calvin Coolidge loved having his head rubbed with Vaseline while he ate breakfast in bed. I'm honestly not sure what that would feel like. I guess it would feel like a head massage. I have gotten a head massage before, and that does feel good, and they do put oils in your hair, so maybe Vaseline is sort of like just like an oil massage on your head. I'm sure it felt nice. Calvin Coolidge was the first president to appear in a movie with sound in 1924. President Coolidge was the first president to have his inauguration heard on the radio and the first president to make a radio broadcast. So even though he was Silent Kale, he did all of these media things. It has been revealed that Calvin Coolidge played hide and seek with his security, except they didn't know about it. He would buzz for his security guards and then hide under his desk while they frantically searched for him. So what I pulled today in the kitchen was pretty much what Calvin Coolidge pulled also, is he just started freaking people out and making them think there was a disaster happening. Calvin Coolidge had more dogs than he could take care of. So he had cats, canaries, and all these things were sent to him. And he also received a black-haired bear from Mexico, an African pygmy hippopotamus, and even a pair of live lion cubs, which the fiscally conservative president gave the names Tax Reduction and Budget Bureau. I love this guy. He is so great. And Calvin Coolidge also had 2 pet raccoons named Rebecca and Reuben, and they would run around inside the White House. Rebecca was actually pardoned by Calvin Coolidge after someone gave the raccoon to him for Thanksgiving dinner. And so instead of eating it, he ended up pardoning Rebecca. So that was very nice of him. I would not want to eat raccoon for Thanksgiving dinner. And another really funny thing, this actually makes me laugh. So after his horseback riding activities were reportedly curtailed by concerned Secret Service agents, Coolidge installed a mechanical horse saddle in the White House. The machine ran on electricity and was able to mimic the bouncy agitation of trotting or galloping, and Coolidge rode the contraption up to 3 times a day, believing it was beneficial to his health. I can only imagine what that must have looked like. That is hilarious. I wish I could have seen a video of that. So Calvin Coolidge had a chicken coop built in the back of his White House, and he kept a small flock of Vermont chickens there. And the chickens actually had an unusual flavor, and Calvin Coolidge was always wondering, you know, why do they taste so weird? And it's because the chicken yard was actually built on top of Theodore Roosevelt's mint bed. That's so crazy. And Coolidge liked roast beef, Vermont pickles, and corn muffins, of course. We just made some corn muffins in his honor that we kind of messed up, but that's okay. So yeah, those are all of the fun facts. And we had a fun time baking today. Please do not repeat this recipe. I think we need to tweak it. So if you're going to do this recipe, definitely mix all those ingredients together that I mixed, and just don't cook everything for 25 minutes. Maybe more like 10 to 12 minutes, and you'll have really good tasting cornmeal muffins. Well, thank you for watching this disaster of a cooking video today. It really gave me a chuckle. I'm just laughing at myself. I mean, I'm not only a horrible cook, but I also am very irresponsible, apparently, with my fire safety. Until next time, I hope you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.